Hi, I'm Andy Rowland. I'm the author of Jesus the Troublemaker, His Last 8 Days. It's a historical novel about Holy Week, really trying to make real what actually happened, using imagination, but also using the Gospels as a historical source. Here is an extract of what happened after the Last Supper. When Yeshua and his trainees left the house in which they'd had the Last Supper, they walked through the Hippicus Gate and walked within 100 yards of the really horrid sight of Skull Hill in the moonlight. They walked round the north side of the city walls, over the Kidron, and up to Gat Shemanim, where there was an olive press. When they got to Gat Shemanim, Yeshua went through the gate in the low stone wall, followed by the trainees. "It's late. Why aren't we going straight to Beit Anya?" grumbled Matanyahu to Yaakov ben Chalfai. "We've got to wait Yehuda. We don't want him being picked up by the police." Yeshua said to the trainees, "I know you're tired. Have a break and relax the time being. Shimon, Kepha, Yaakov, and Yochanan, come with me. I need to pray." They walked past the large stone olive press with a wooden beam for the donkeys to turn the giant millstone. On the other side, Yeshua said, "Stay here, I'm going on a little further." He went another 50 paces into the shade of the olive grove and crouched down, his head in his hands. "Abba, Abba," he cried, "you can do anything. Take away this cup of suffering. Deliver me from my enemies. All my help come quickly to my aid. But, your will, Abba, your will be done, your will be done." He slowly got up and walked back through the orchard. The night was completely silent, apart from the odd cooick of a distant nightjar. All 3 trainees were asleep, and no sound came from the other group. Yeshua shook the 3 awake. "Come on, my brothers, try to stay awake. I want you to be with me tonight. It's hard for me." He went back to the former spot and prayed in the same way, but when he returned, they were out like a light again. Once more he woke them up, but the 3rd time he let them sleep, until there was a noise at the entrance gate of the olive grove. "Quickly, wake up, the traitor's here." The trainees stood up groggily, and there was a confused noise as the other trainees woke up and realized they were confronted by a posse of temple guards and Roman soldiers. They scattered among the olive trees, but stopped when they realized they weren't being pursued. They realized that the one leading the armed mob with their lanterns and flaming torches was their friend Yehuda. They were completely confused. Yeshua strode forward past the olive press into the light of the lanterns. "Are you looking for someone?" he asked. The group of men armed with truncheons and swords. Their self-confidence was shaken, and there was a pregnant pause. Then Yehuda came forward, kissed Yeshua on the cheek and said, "Shalom, Rabbi." "My friend, do you betray the Son of Man with a kiss?" asked Yeshua quietly. As if on a signal, the armed crowd surged forward, and 2 of them grabbed Yeshua by the arm. Shimon Zelote shouted, "No!" and pulled out his dagger and slashed at the head of one of the men holding Yeshua. The man moved to get out of the way and then screamed as his ear was almost severed. "Stop it!" shouted Yeshua, and there was a stunned silence. Yeshua held the injured man's head in both hands for a moment. The man stood there dazed and staggered back, touching his ear, not quite believing that the bleeding had stopped. Yeshua took a deep breath and spoke strongly. "Are you really coming to get me in the middle of the night with billy clubs and swords? Do you really think I'm a dangerous bandit? Every single day this week I've been in the temple, teaching, praying, talking. No one laid a finger on me then. But I guess that darkness suits you. Only let these men go." The Roman decurion shouted, "Arrest him!" A group of Roman soldiers and temple guards ran forward and grabbed him, and some started after the trainees, who scattered in fear. One young man was spotted because the white sheet he had wrapped himself in gave him away, but he wriggled out of it and ran off naked. The centurion shouted again, "Come back, men, we've got the guy we want." The soldiers handed Yeshua over to the temple guards, who tied his wrists tight behind his back and pushed him roughly up the road back to Jerusalem. Tomorrow is Good Friday, and we'll hear something about the trials that Jesus had to face when he got back to Jerusalem in the middle of the night. God bless.